Imagine receiving a house as your birthday gift. Not a car, not a watch, not cash, but an entire building. That is a story attracting attention in Nigeria. After businessman Obinna Iyebu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, announced that he would gift Pastor Jerry Eze a house to mark the pastor's 44th birthday. But why would Obi Cubana make such a major personal commitment? And what does the gesture tell us about the relationship between Nigerian business leaders and the influential figures in the Christian community? Here is what happened. Obi Cubana announced the gift in a social media post celebrating Pastor Jerry Eze's birthday. He described the pastor as one of his most amazing brothers and praised his prayers and service to humanity. But the announcement did not stop at words. Iyebu said he was presenting one of his properties to Eze and that the building was expected to be completed by December. In an accompanying video, Obi Cubana explained that the idea had actually started months earlier.
So today I've chosen to celebrate one of my most amazing brothers, a man of God, my friend, Pastor Jerry Eze. So I celebrate you today because you have always been there for us. You have been there for us before God and before man. You have always interceded for us in God's presence, and you interceded for us in some very powerful rooms. Looking at these beautiful edifices, you were here in January, and I made a silent prayer to God that by our next birthday, I should be able to finish and gift you one. But looking at it, we are still working, and hopefully it will be done soon. And I make it bold to say today, I am presenting one to you as a birthday gift for the work of God and for the service of mankind. So I join the whole world and everybody that wishes you well to wish you a very beautiful birthday today. May God continue to bless you. Happy birthday, my brother.
The gesture immediately attracted attention because of the scale of the gift and because both men have significant public profiles in Nigeria. Obi Cubana is a prominent Nigerian businessman and social media personality whose name has become strongly associated with entrepreneurship, hospitality, and high-profile social events. Pastor Jerry Eze is the founder of Streams of Joy International and the convener of New Season Prophetic Prayers and Declaration, widely known as NSPPD. NSPPD has developed a large online audience through his prayer broadcasts, making Eze one of the more recognizable Nigerian Christian personalities on digital platforms. That background is important because it is not simply a birthday celebration involving two private individuals. Both men operate in highly visible public spaces. One is primarily known for business and social influence. The other is known for Christian ministry and a large online prayer community. Their relationship therefore attracts public interest whenever either man makes a significant announcement involving the other. And that brings us to the bigger question. Is this simply an extraordinary birthday present between friends, or does it represent something broader about relationships between wealth, influence, faith, and philanthropy in contemporary Nigeria? There is no evidence in the announcement that the house was given in exchange for anything. Obi Cubana presented it as a personal gift and an expression of appreciation. He specifically connected the gesture to Eze's work and the service to mankind. That distinction matters. In Nigeria, prominent individuals regularly support religious organizations, charitable causes, and the people they consider influential or deserving. Gifts can range from financial contributions to vehicles, property, and other forms of assistance. What makes this particular case stand out is the value and visibility of the gifts. A house represents a substantial commitment, particularly when the building is still under construction and the donor is publicly committing to completing it. The timing also adds another layer. Eze turned 44 on Saturday, and the announcement came as friends followers, and well-wishers celebrated him across social media. The birthday therefore became more than a personal milestone. It became the occasion for a public statement of appreciation from one influential Nigerian figure to another. Still, there is another side of the discussion. Some people may naturally ask questions whenever a prominent businessman gives a major gift to a religious leader. That does not automatically mean anything improper has occurred. But public figures often attract scrutiny precisely because their actions are visible to large audiences. In this case, the information available is straightforward. Obi Cubana said the house is a birthday gift. He said the property is being presented in appreciation of Eze's work and service. He says construction is still ongoing and expects the building to be ready by December. Beyond those statements, there is no verified information in the material provided indicating that the gift is connected to a business arrangement or any obligation. That is why the safest conclusion is to treat it as what the donor publicly described it to be, a personal birthday gift, an expression of friendship. There is also a broader cultural dimension. Nigeria has a strong tradition of celebrating major birthdays with elaborate gestures. For wealthy Nigerians, significant gifts can become public demonstrations of friendship, loyalty, and appreciation. Social media has amplified that culture. A private gift can now become a national conversation within hours. And when the people involved already have large followings, the attention becomes even greater. Pastor Jerry Eze, the announcement adds another major moment to a birthday already attracting widespread messages from supporters and well-wishers. For Obi Cubana, it reinforced his public image as someone willing to make substantial gestures towards people he considers close to him. But perhaps the most interesting part of this story is not the birthday itself. It is the promise behind the building. Obi Cubana says the idea began with a silent commitment in January. Months later, he made that commitment public. Now, attention will naturally shift to December. Will the building be completed as announced? What will the finished property look like? And will Pastor Jerry Eze formally take the possession of it as his birthday gift? Those are the questions that will likely keep the story in the public conversation. And its core, this is a story about friendship, faith, business success, and generosity. A businessman has announced a house as a birthday gift to a prominent pastor. The building is still being completed. The stated reason is appreciation for the pastor's work and service to humanity. And the next chapter is already clear. December. That is when the promise is expected to become a finished property. Until then, the story remains a striking example of how personal relationships between influential Nigerians can produce gestures that quickly become national talking points. And perhaps the biggest takeaway is this. In an era where birthdays are increasingly celebrated publicly, some gifts are not simply presents. They become statements of friendships, appreciation, and influence. And sometimes, like this one, they become news themselves. I'm Chimezrim Okoro, and I will see you soon.